This piano doesn't begin with music. It begins with raw materials and years of patience. When the sun rises over the factory, trucks are already stopped at the gates. They bring selected wood logs from specific forests: alpine spruce, Canadian maple, African ebony. Every piece has been tracked, every origin documented. Wood arrives long before sound exists. Some cuts will wait 3, 5, even 10 years before being used. Luxury begins with waiting. There's no shortcut. Inside the warehouses, enormous stacks of boards rest in silence. Controlled temperature, monitored humidity, no rush. The wood needs to dry, stabilize, reveal its true nature. A board that's too wet cracks after assembly. A board that's too dry loses resonance. Not every piece is accepted. Inspectors run their hands over each surface. They examine the grain, look for knots, cracks, irregularities. The wrong grain ruins everything. An invisible flaw today becomes a permanent defect tomorrow. Rejection is brutal. More than 40% of the wood that arrives never enters the process. Approved boards move to the cutting tables. Precision saws separate each layer. Here, they don't cut wood. Here, they sculpt the future of sound. The curved side of the piano, that iconic shape, isn't aesthetic. It's acoustic. It defines how sound will propagate, how waves will expand, how the instrument will breathe. To create this curve, thin layers of wood are glued one over another. 6, 8, sometimes 12 layers, each applied with exact pressure. Too strong, the wood breaks. Too weak, it separates. Industrial presses apply tons of force. Then, waiting. Again. The glue needs to cure. The shape needs to set. There's no way to accelerate chemistry. While the structure rests, other parts are being assembled. The internal mechanism of a grand piano has more than 8,000 individual components: felts, springs, levers. Each hammer that will strike the strings needs manual adjustment. Each key needs identical response. A professional pianist feels the difference of 2 grams of resistance. Cast iron arrives in massive blocks. It will be the skeleton of the piano, the frame that will support more than 20 tons of string tension. If it fails, the entire instrument collapses. But cast iron isn't installed. It's positioned, millimeter by millimeter. Angles verified with laser. Screws tightened in specific sequence. Order matters. Torque matters. Everything matters. Now the strings. 320 steel strings stretched over the structure. Each has different thickness. Each has different tension. Too tight, it breaks. Too loose, it dies. Sound doesn't exist without perfect tension. Technicians spend hours adjusting. There's no machine that does this. Only human ear, patience, and repetition. The keys arrive in pure white, synthetic ivory, or polished wood. They're weighted, balanced, tested individually. When you press a key, 88 pieces move in synchronization. Levers rotate, hammers rise, dampers lift. All of this in 30 milliseconds. If one piece delays 5 milliseconds, the sound gets muddy, imperfect, unacceptable. And then comes tuning. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly. Weeks after assembly, the piano is tuned for the first time. Then it rests. The wood reacts to tension. The strings settle. Then, new tuning. And another. And another. Some pianos take nearly a year to be ready. Not because the factory is slow, but because quality cannot be forced. Every adjustment is measured in cents, the smallest unit of musical tuning. A cent is 1/100th of a semitone. The average human ear can't detect differences smaller than 5 cents. Professional tuners work with half-cent precision. They play, they listen, they adjust, they play again. Long pauses between each change. Silence is part of the process. Meanwhile, finishes are being applied. Layers of varnish, hand polishing, mirror reflection on the lid. It's not beauty, it's protection, it's durability. It's a guarantee that 50 years from now, this instrument will still sound perfect. Finally, the piano is finished, but it doesn't rush off the production line. It's packed as if it were porcelain, foam on all sides, reinforced wooden crates, dedicated transport, no bumps, no noise, only absolute protection. When it arrives at the showroom, the space is silent. The customer enters, sees the piano, plays the first notes. And there, in that moment, they're not buying an instrument. They're accepting years of work. They're taking home decades of technical knowledge, months of waiting, thousands of hours of manual adjustments. The price reflects this dedication. While entry-level grand pianos start around $20,000, truly exceptional instruments can reach extraordinary values. The Crystal piano, built by Heinzmann and played at the 2008 Beijing Olympics opening ceremony, sold at auction for $3.2 million. Not because it was ornate, but because it represented the absolute pinnacle of craftsmanship, transparency in design, and a moment in history when perfection met legacy. This is not a piano. It's compressed time. It's discipline transformed into sound. It's physical legacy. And this is just one process. Other luxury creations follow the same rules. Swiss watches, Italian cars, German instruments, all share the same principle. There's no shortcut to excellence. There's no rush to perfection. Click the playlist to see how the world's most exclusive objects are made.